Hey, this is Gabrielle from the Barre Relevé, and today I'm going to share with you my 3 favorite stretches for opening up the lower back, lengthening the legs, and setting the hips and the glutes so you can really dig into those leg sculpting bar movements. This short stretch sequence is also excellent if you've been sitting or driving for a while and you want to open up some of that lower back or hip tension before your workout. Each stretch we're going to spend about 30 seconds in, and I'm going to show you a couple of mobility options and modifications. So get your mat and let's get started. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can find out when all the new videos are coming out, and you can also hang out with me on Instagram. You'll find the link in my profile. Okay, so the first stretch we're going to do is a butterfly stretch. For this, you're going to bring your knees together and your heels together, and they're going to be about hands distance apart from your hips. Then we're going to peel the knees open and find those hip bones right here on the mat. Then you're going to reach forward and grab a hold of your shins. Now, if this position is difficult for you, it might be tempting to want to scoot those heels closer, but we want to keep them out a little bit further so we're stretching the right muscles. If it's difficult for you to sit up tall in this position, just grab your core ball and wedge it behind your hips, or you can lean up against the wall. All right, so let's take a nice deep breath in, lift our collarbones for an inhale, and then as we exhale, we'll just round our tummy in and come forward. So we're going to do that 7 more times. We're going to inhale to stretch up, exhale, rounding forward. Inhale to stretch up, exhale, rounding forward. So as you're lifting into that neutral and slightly extended low back and rounding forward, be careful not to force the lower back. Just want to keep moving with whatever range of motion feels comfortable for you. We're just preparing the spine for that next stretch. All right, so last one. Let's stay lifted here. And we're going to take the hands in the same position, use the tricep strength, and pull ourselves forward towards the feet, keeping those hip bones glued to the mat. So this may not feel like much of a stretch at first, but when you get to that place where you feel the restriction in your lower back, where it meets your glutes, you know you've gone far enough. So it's not an intense stretch, but it's an effective one. So we're going to stay here for a couple more breaths, breathing in nicely, exhale, releasing that tension. All right, so one more inhale and exhale. And we're going to return up to the top. And then I'm going to scoop my hands underneath my shins and then just round my lower back and relax forward. Again, not stretching or not forcing that stretch in the lower back, but just letting it happen on its own. All right, so 30 seconds can seem like an eternity when you're doing stretching. So I try to go with the 4 breath rule, where I'm taking at least 4 long inhales, long exhales, letting my muscles relax. Because it takes about 15 seconds for the body to figure out what you're asking it to do. So you really want to shoot for that good 30 seconds in your stretch. All right, so one more inhale and exhale. And then inhale and slowly come on up. All right, so for the second stretch, we want to make sure we really keep those hip bones glued to our mat. So I'm just going to slowly slide my left foot over to the side and then find that nice tall neutral position one more time. Now I'm going to slide my left hand down and sweep my right arm up. So I'm going to come directly over to the side. So I'm stretching laterally. Again, keeping those hip bones glued to the mat. So I'm going to stay here for a few seconds of the stretch. So about 1 deep inhale, 1 deep exhale. And then I'm going to slowly rotate and fall forward. So you're only going to go as far as this feels comfortable for you. And you want to keep that hip on the mat. So I'm going to hang out right here. I'm going to breathe in nice and deep. Exhale. And release. So just keep breathing and hang out right here. All right, so go ahead and breathe in. Exhale. And then inhale, slowly pushing yourself up and back to center. So now we're going to take those feet together one more time so we know our hips are still even. I'm going to stretch the right leg out to the side. Find that nice tall neutral. Right hand goes out, left hand goes up. Inhale and exhale, sliding down to the side. So starting here in that lateral position where I'm just reaching to the side. Now, if the left side is fighting you and trying to come up off of the mat, you can just take your hand and gently push down on the knee and pull yourself towards the opposite leg. So just kind of helping that, helping the left side stay down onto the mat so you can stretch where the obliques meet the hips. All right, so I'm going to make sure I've got my twist now that my left side is opened up. So I'm going to let all that left side of my lower back stretch open. And when you're doing this stretch, you're also going to be getting a little bit of lengthening happening on the outside of the hamstring. So if you feel that pulling, that's perfectly normal. All right, so 2 more breaths. And our next inhale, just go ahead and gently press yourself back up. Always taking your time coming out of the stretches, especially if you're really stretching deep. Now I'm going to start back with my hips together, my feet together, and then I'm going to slowly open one at a time, keeping those hip bones glued to the ground. Again, your legs are going to want to twist, body's going to want to play tricks on you. And then I'm going to lift the collarbones and slowly walk it forward here. Now I'm going to push my fingertips into the ground, so I'm sending that energy back down into the hip bones, and I can stretch out the thighs from here. All right, so let's go ahead and breathe into this one. Nice big inhale, nice exhale, just letting everything release. To help you get a little deeper into this stretch, you can also point and flex. So that's a little option there just to help those muscles open up. All right, so let's go ahead and take it a little bit deeper. So let's take a breath in. Exhale, walking out a little bit further. Now, if this feels crazy far from where you're at, that's okay. This is actually pretty flexible. So if you're finding that you're way up here, that's perfectly fine. Just find a place that you feel like you can support your body so your legs can open and relax into those stretches. All right, so let's breathe into it here because we're going to try to take it down 1 more inch. So big inhale, big exhale, pushing yourself back onto those hip bones. 1 more breath, and then just melt forward from whatever position you are, allowing yourself to round. So it's okay if the lower back and upper back round. Again, just don't force it. Let it go. So in this position, my hip bones are still glued to the mat. My toes are about the same rotation inside, and I'm not holding any tension in my neck. So we're going to stay here for 2 more deep breaths, and then we'll release. So last inhale, last exhale, and then I'm going to breathe in one last time and then use my hands to push me back, especially if you got into that deep stretch. You don't want those muscles that were just being told to relax to start to work. So you can stay as long as you need to in each one of these positions. Just keep checking back in with yourself to make sure that those hips are even and one hasn't rotated forward. So that way you're opening up the back sides of the thighs and the hips equally. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this stretch video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you have any requests or comments, please feel free to email me at at Gabrielle, thebarreleve.com.